ऑन कर दिया? अरे ये वाला काट दो बिल्कुल, वरना एडिट
काट
कैसे
दूंगा,
करोगे? काट देते हो?
काट
एम
दूंगा।
मैट लैब में? अरे सही आदमी हो। ओके, सो वेलकम एवरीवन, and those of you who know me, I am Sanjeev, and those of you who don't know me, I am Sanjeev. So with that note, I would like to welcome you on this talk, and I would like to open with a question that have you ever faced difficulty on talking on stage?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. Good. And have you ever wondered that why it is most difficult job in the world to talk on stage?
because you have to speak in front of a lot of people and you get nervous.
Okay, which is natural. Yeah.
Yeah,
What else? Suppose there is something which controls your nervousness and people are okay with your nervousness, then why still people don't prefer to come on stage and talk?
I think that's the only problem.
Okay. Okay, we'll discover more. And have you ever tried to convince somebody with your idea or your product or your offering or your scientific discovery? Have you ever tried to convince the audience that this is what I have discovered and they need to buy it? Have you ever
No,
tried? No? Why is that? Because we have not discovered
yeah,
anything. I know that. But otherwise, suppose I have found something and instead of publishing a paper, I just want to share with the audience, and that is where our focus is in this research organization, that in ISC, that okay, how do we share our findings with our community, and they get convinced by your discovery. So have you tried that?
not really.
Not really. Okay. But for those of us who have done that, even it is a bit difficult, and there are reasons for that. There is a lot of neuropsychology and evaluation of the human mind which goes behind it. So if we try to understand that a bit, maybe we can do a better job. So okay, so I will not take much time. I'll try to go with the first topic of my talk is the highs in my life. So any wild guesses by what you mean by the highs in my life?
Happy points of your life.
Okay, hope you did not say that I had a shot of tequila and went over in some rocks, right? It was not that high, but yes, I had that highs also. So anyway, so first high was, I mean to say that you are feeling really great and you want to do something and achieve something. So I graduated from BITS Plani, class of 97, and I went to Delhi to write a national exam, and I was feeling really high about it because I thought I have cracked that exam. It was NCST, National Center for Software Technology or Competency. So I was coming back, and it was a long ride in the bus from Delhi to Plani, and I took some medicine to avoid the uproar in my belly, and as a result I fall asleep. When I got up in the bus, it was way past Plani towards Junjunu, from the city of Plani, and I said, no, I want to get down here. It was 2 a.m. in the night, dark, and I was like, no, I want to go back to my campus. So I started, and the driver and the conductor, they said that, dude, it's jungle, it's desert, it's 2 a.m. in the dark December night. What are you doing? You better take the morning bus from Junjunu and get back to Plani. I said, no, let me get down. So I took that courage. I wanted to walk and get back to my hostel. I started. It was like bitter cold night. You can listen to the footsteps at your back, and you dare not to turn around to see who is following you. It was that, and whoo sound, jackal sound from the nearby grasslands and all whatnot. I kept on walking, and I took a stick somehow. Then, in the mist and the fog of the December nights of Rajasthan, I found one right turn, and I thought that is the way to hostel or to the main campus. I took that. I was alone, pitch dark night, and slowly the road started getting narrow, and I get into it, and then I saw the Rajasthan Havelis and all those things, and then suddenly dogs started barking. So I said, this is enough. I cannot take further this solo journey, and I retreated back. Then I found few guys going on bicycle, village guys, and asked them and followed them, and I took the second road and I went to the campus. So I was obviously high. So the point was that I took a decision of walking alone on a road and then took the first road, which came my way. So I was not, regretful of my decision, and I said, okay, let's do. And I finally managed by, not getting bitten by dogs of the street. So the lesson which I learned was, even if you take the first road, which don't go to your destination, it's worthwhile trying that road, the road less traveled, because you know what is the second alternative road. So you can see how high I was at that time. Anyway, come to the second high. It happened quite soon. It was, in my first job with Tata's in TCS Bombay. I was deputed back from Delhi to Bombay, and there was a good team outing. And my manager and the whole group, it was a bunch of around 50 to 100 people, and we went to suburb of Bombay, and we had water sports and whatnot, and we had a 1 or 2 rounds of beer or something. Then you can imagine that we were high. So there was a splash board, water splash when you dive from there, and it's a slide. So we had a kabaddi game, and I hurt my knee as usual, like here also 2-3 times I hurt. So I was feeling, but I didn't let the guy go cross the fence, right? In return, my knee got injured. We put up a kerchief and we went for swimming and then water sport. So I climbed. It was around 100 feet or something, I don't know, some 100 steps. When I came to the top and when I saw, oh my God, this is scary, how high it is. It is really high. So, and then the whole the nasha or the highness of the beer went off, and then my friends and Bombay friends, Delhi friends, they were calling, Sanjeev, take a splash, come down. No, I will not. So now I thought that, okay, let me climb back from here, but that's not allowed. That's not the rule of the game. So in life you have to climb up. So then how do you go down? So then I climbed. I get hold of the side railings of the splash tunnel, and I make a halfway journey. So there was a horizontal platform halfway, and then again slide down. Then I looked down. Oh my God, this is really high. So I said, okay, what you can do? So you cannot go back. I in fact tried to go back. I could not. So I clearly remember. Then I said, okay, let me use the same thing, because humans are good in repetition. We can easily copy. I copied my quad act of sliding from the side railing. I came another half distance. So 3/4 I managed. Then I said, oh. Then all my friends, they gave up hope. And they said, we are going behind the beauties and we will swim and whatnot. So they all left. I said, okay, never mind. So then I gained enough courage to make a splash. And there I go, and go. Gone. I could not come out. And it was, believe me, it was a diameter tub kind of, big thing of around 5 meter diameter and around 6 feet deep or something. And the viscosity, or the sheer momentum of the water was huge, because I made a splash. And there I go back, and then I was trying to stand up. I didn't know swimming at that time. I could not stand up. I started realizing water is gushing in, or something happened. There, in a flick of second, something, my mind clicked. It saved me. I said, Sanjeev, how can you drown in this 5 feet or 6 feet kind of tank? It is impossible. So if you raise, I was like this, like a baby, because of sheer movement of no water. And if I raise my hand out, somebody would see me. I did that. And the lifeguard who was standing, he come and he lifted me. Okay, good. Then I said, dude, my specs is also down. So the lesson which I learned from this was that you need courage when you go down. So in life, as well as a startup, your research, when you are frustrated with one result, 10 results, 99 results, you feel that it's going down. No. Because a slide is meant for that. And you discover the sheer joy when you splash in that, right? Then you gain enough kind of, adrenal rush. So that is what you're working for. Some sweet spot in discovery or some your research, right? So that doesn't mean that you're going down. So my fear of, oh my God, how can I go down with this high was wrong. I could have taken the plunge. So the point was, you need to have enough courage to go down. I mean to say, to go any journey. Second is, you have to do it together. There is one Napoleon, one Hitler is not going to do a World War Z or World War II. You need a whole team of Germans out there to conquer the whole world against Russians, right? So you don't do it alone. What I choose, the way I choose was, okay, let me, when nobody is there, then I can covertly come down and then make a splash. Wrong. You fail. And I failed, right? So the lesson learned was, do it together. Do it as a team. In research as well. Yeah. My third high, so you can feel we are high. Okay. So my third high was when I was in my third, fourth, fifth, or forget it, some fourth job in Sapient. I still regret working in, not working in Sapient, leaving Sapient. It was one of the best companies I have ever worked for, and it's like I belong to Aligarh, my hometown, which is around 150 kilometers off Gurgaon, and every weekend I used to go back to my home. But when I was in Sapient, I realized, no, let me do something. And I stayed on weekends in my home, in my room, and I used to work on projects in Sapient. It was 9/11 time. So pressure was high, and I slept over day, full day I was sleeping. Then it rained heavily like 2 days back in Bangalore. So I got up in my room and I thought, oh my God, this is 9 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock all liquor shops or all restaurants are closed in Gurgaon. So what to do? You have to fill your stomach, right? You have to survive. I didn't have fridge, I didn't have biscuits or anything. So I said, okay, let me go and have some food. I was walking and in my street, and it downpoured heavily. There was a lot of rains. Suddenly I skipped my heartbeat, and in flick of second, if you can imagine this cliff on your street, I was walking like that, and suddenly I fall in. There was a pit of 6 by 6 by 6. Telecom department dig that. I didn't know about it, and due to rains, it was fully covered with water, and it was dark at 9:30 in the night, and I could not see, and I was just walking and crossing that street, and unfortunately or fortunately, I get into that pit. In flick of second, my leg went like this, and I was going down. In that microsecond, I realized that I have to save myself, and when you are falling, that means it's a stiff cliff, there is a pit. So it happens in microsecond. If I take my elbow like this, I would save myself like a jaw, like a some structure. So imagine I am falling like that. I was walking and I fall like that. I immediately did like this, and my elbow got hurted, but that saved me by falling in the pit. And I was, dude, that's close, that's high. Then I somehow put my second elbow on the road, because I was in the pit, and I climbed myself out of that. My mobile of Motorola, which I purchased, 18,000 rupee mobile, tri-GSM, tri-band GSM, all gone. Then I said, oh my God, what happened? Then I started looking at the pit. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is weird. It's plain water. How can it happen to me? Okay, fine. So I kind of, water come out here and there. Then I better go onto the side of the street and walked up to get my food. So the lesson which I learned was, it's okay to be in middle way, but not always. You have to take some side, either left or right. Being in middle way is going to give you mediocre results. If you want to steer ahead in research, startup or whatever in life, you have to take a side. You cannot drive all the middle lane. It is left hand or right hand. So that was one, but another lesson learned was your gut judgment helps you, saves you. So I put my elbow like this. So many times when you are faced by like sudden crisis, funds gone in research, or there is a dead end, you found that some research has already been done in Australia or somewhere. There is a dead end. So you have to take your gut judgments very quickly. You have to be agile enough to take alternative route in your research. I mean to say not together altogether changing your topic, but you have to be agile. And that is one, and second is eat while you are still hungry and awake. If I would have taken my lunch, I would have not dared to go on that dreadful night and venture out. So the point is, while you are still young at your brains, do whatever you want to do, research or startup or whatever. So you want to quench your thirst for knowledge or wealth or whatever, do it. Don't wait for the middle lane and let the highway open left or right, then I will decide and toss a coin which side to go. No, you have to take right. You have to take the highway right away. So take your food while you are hungry and while you are awake. So these were 3 highs. I learned my lesson, but I still mishap. I do still mishaps. Still, I am still not able to convince Gaurav on Deutsch, right? And I am still not able to convince my another friend, Suman in EC for French, because I am wrong selling. Maybe I am selling wrong thing to the right guy, right? So there is a, so these are 3 highs. There is a secret recipe of how do you sell. Now there are some well-known universal triggers. So if you weave out your product offering or service offering around those triggers, you are bound or destined to succeed. Believe me, not even, don't believe me, believe others. Though I am not saying it from my own invention or my own theory. It is a well-known theory. It is a well-known adapted practice in the world. So those 7 triggers. First is which I miss those triggers whenever I made a sales pitch or a research proposal or a startup proposal, or for that matter facing an interview, job interview, right? Or proposing to somebody, or even convincing your mom that I won't go to lab today, I want to sleep, right? so basically life is a 2-phase transaction, buy and sell. So I'm trying to sell you something, right? Or a startup, build and sell. So basically those 7, if you meet 3 triggers out of those 7, you are bound to succeed. So trigger number 1 is passion. So what you do in life should be full of passion. What you do, your product, it should reflect passion. So why do you buy iPhone? Or why do you, not iPhone, that's a wrong example. Why do you want to buy, say, Harley Davidson or Triumph or Royal Enfield? Why? Maybe passion. I'm passionate about driving, and so your product offering or your talk or your topic, suppose you are doing some speech processing, is there a passion involved into it? I don't know. So whatever topic, signal processing or deep learning, is there a passion? Is it going to, I am so passionate about it, it draws a Picasso's painting or something. You need to be passionate about it. Your research output, your product or your service offering should ooze out that passion, which is direct reflection of your personality. Like Narayan Murthy. People don't buy Infosys, they buy Narayan Murthy still today. People don't buy Microsoft Windows, they still buy Bill Gates. So people buy people. People don't buy products, people don't buy services. I still buy Nirma. Or I still buy Tata Salt. Why? So there is a personality, there is a passion behind it. So that has to be associated in your product offering or your talk. Second trigger is prestige. So here is Apple. So I want to buy iPhone by giving off one of my kidney. People do that in China. So what's big about it? It is a mobile. It does a computing. It is all that. But iPhone, why? So people are mad about some prestige. It's an ego issue. Still in Haryana or Gurgaon or Delhi side, largest number of Mercedes are sold off. Why? It's the same vehicle which takes you from point A to point B, but there is a prestige involved with that. So there is a prestige kind of status quo in your product. If your product have that, if you have this Andrew NG kind of paper, so now world is watching him. If he publish another paper, so there's a prestige involved. There's a lot of citations on that. So status quo. So that comes from some time, or Tata is not built in one day, so I cannot buy, if I float a Microsoft kind of company, people not buy that. So it takes a while to become a Bill Gates. You have to sell your sister shocks to become Bill Gates. Anyway, so that was trigger number 2. Trigger 3 is power. Your product should reflect some power out of it. So do it empower me, or do it empower the society, do it empower someone to achieve results in a better way, or this resource is it doesn't empower me. So the power factor should reflect in that. So these are 3 triggers. Another is alarm. Imagine that I in around 5 years back, one of my friends was trying to sell me insurance policy, and it was a mis-selling to me. I was in Infosys. I bought ICICI Prudential, and it in that recession in few years back, it did not perform, and my money was not even half of the worth of it. So I was very frustrated. So then I walked up to the bank manager, and he told, "Sir, one agent did a wrong selling to you, but that doesn't mean the whole Prudential is wrong." So you need to awaken your customer with some proper education, that what is it about this product is going to help you in this way or not. So there is a trigger. I'm coming to a trigger. It's called as alarm. So many times when you see 31st March, you will find some billboards in Bangalore and rest of the cities that save tax if you buy this policy. So that's a kind of alarm. So if you have ICASP coming up, interest speech coming up, it's an alarm. We have seen that how we were working, and we published the paper, right? So humans, they are inherently lazy creatures. So we work against only alarms. So if your product, or if your research, or if your talk or something is going to sound some alarm in the audience mind, it will be accepted. Now that doesn't mean that you tomorrow work on some RDX or some bomb, right? It's it's to sound some alarm. Rebellion, another trigger. So are you rebellion enough to go against the status quo? So one of the trigger was prestige. So complementary status quo trigger is challenge the status quo. That are you being rebellion? Is your research off the track? Is it groundbreaking research?
Yeah.
Is it something non-traditional, like AlexNet or ImageNet? Prior to that, they were not using NN, neural nets, and they were not able to get these many results. But somebody thought and applied deep learning or neural nets. So that was groundbreaking. So you should be, kind of that rebellion. That doesn't mean that you tomorrow stop coming to the lab. So that, or go off smoking or like that. Okay, so another trigger is mystique. It should create some feeling of mysterious. So that I don't know how much it will be applicable to our lab. But if you take example of Center for Brain Research, neurosciences, very mysterious job they are doing. We don't know. We are still not able to understand our brain. I lost my hairs in that. Okay, so it should carry some mysterious component, mystique. And last trigger is loyalty. Still, it is connected to that passion or prestige that people buy Bill Gates or people buy Tata, right, or Birla for that matter. So loyalty is one tag. So if your product is coming from ISC, oh great, so people will look about it. Yeah, I still so you show your ID card, you are working in ISC. Oh great. So there is a value attached to the brand, and people don't prefer to deviate from that brand, right? So these are the 7 triggers. Out of that, if you manage to address 3 triggers, your product is bound to succeed. Now, there are, so this is the, sharing which, learning which I shared with you. And the whole idea was, in the due course of this talk, we want to tell you the, 4 underlying fundamental principles which a talk should address. Now that is being talked about by Chris Anderson of TED. He's a big curator of talks in TED, and according to him, we can play that talk. It's around 8 minutes long. So according to him, there are 4 pillars. One is, your talk should be on one simple idea. So ideation is one thing which humans can teleport from one brain to another brain. So it requires just the listening, speaking capability, and your vision, and you are able to recreate that idea in your audience. So that idea should not be that complex that you have to take help of so many equations, this and that. So once you are presenting in a crisp 30-minute or 90 minutes talk, then you should not take much help of tools. That ideation should happen in the air, right? So the point is, the idea should be as simple as possible to convey, to teleport in your audience mind, because ideas have a strong impact. They change how do you perceive things in the world. If you are able to manage that, your purpose is solved, the agenda of the talk. So that is one. Second is, if the idea is complex, no problem, but even if it is simple, you should build upon your idea piece by piece. So I cannot go from point A to point B in a quantum leap. I have to go by steps. So in your talk, you have to build upon the theme piece by piece, that A leads to B, B leads to C, and so on and so forth. And that is weaved out with the main idea. So main idea could be simple, but how do you achieve that? You talk upon piece by piece. So your all slides or your talks or your change of things should not be drastic enough. They should be piece by piece. Second pillar or fundamental principle is, before you start all these things, you have to seek permission from your audience that may I. Now, having said so that you do a broadcast and people come and attend, does not take it for granted that you can bombard your ideas to them. You have to, twinkle or scintillate those thinking buds in your audience brain. How do you do that? In your audience mind. So you have, in order to seek the permission, you have to, spark them to be receptive. How do you do that is, ask very simple questions on things which are not solvable. Of course, you are trying to solve something, right? That is your whole idea of the talk, right? So you know that people have not solved it or in that way. So you ask that question so that when the audience realize that this is not solvable or it's difficult, they become curious to know that how is it solved.
Yeah.
Right? So when you arouse that curiosity in the audience, that is the time you start. Right? So that is fundamental principle of arousal of the curiosity. Fourth is, your idea should be not serving the selfish purpose of your own or your organization or your department or your company or whatever. It should serve the purpose of masses at large, that idea. So then only people would get, buyed in to accept or to listen to that idea. So any topic, any research topic, any startup idea which you have should not only solve, of course a startup would look for monetization, but again that chases you, money chases you. You don't